Top 10 Celebrities Who Completely Disappeared from Fame. In the fast-paced world of celebrity culture, fame can be a fleeting thing. One day you're the talk of every tabloid, the face on every magazine, and the star of every hit movie or chart-topping song, and the next, you're gone. Vanished from the spotlight as if you never existed. While some stars choose to step away from fame for peace of mind, others are pushed out by controversy, career burnout, or personal transformation. Regardless of the reasons, the silence of once popular celebrities often leaves fans wondering, whatever happened to them? In today's video, we'll take a deep dive into the top 10 celebrities who completely disappeared from fame. Let's start with a name that once dominated both television and teen magazines: Amanda Bynes. In the early 2000s, Amanda was one of Nickelodeon's brightest stars, leading shows like The Amanda Show and starring in hit films such as She's the Man and What a Girl Wants. Her comedic timing and charm made her one of the most promising young talents in Hollywood. But in the early 2010s, Amanda's life took a dramatic turn. Public meltdowns, bizarre tweets, and multiple legal incidents made headlines. She stepped away from acting entirely, citing mental health struggles. Since then, Amanda has lived largely out of the public eye. She enrolled in fashion school, focused on recovery, and even got engaged quietly. While she occasionally resurfaces on social media, Amanda has largely disappeared from the Hollywood radar, and it seems, for now, that she prefers it that way. Another surprising exit came from Rick Moranis, the beloved star of 1980s and 90s classics like Ghostbusters, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and Spaceballs. Rick was everywhere at the height of his fame. But in the mid-90s, he suddenly stopped acting. His wife tragically passed away from cancer, and Rick chose to step back from his career to raise their two children as a single father. It wasn't a scandal or a breakdown, it was a quiet, noble decision. For decades, he refused roles, even turning down major studio offers. It wasn't until 2020 that he made a brief return in a commercial with Ryan Reynolds, but Rick continues to live a life mostly free of celebrity attention, reminding us that family can matter more than fame. Then we have Macaulay Culkin, the iconic child star of Home Alone. In the early 90s, Culkin was the most famous kid on the planet. But by the time he was a teenager, he had retreated almost completely from acting. Family drama, legal battles with his parents over his fortune, and a desire to reclaim his personal life led him to step back. He occasionally appeared in indie projects and music videos but avoided the blockbuster scene. Though he's now making selective returns to the public sphere, including a recent role in American Horror Story, he spent over a decade far removed from the red carpets and interviews. Culkin, now a father himself, has turned his attention to creative projects on his terms, far from the noise of his childhood fame. Freddie Prinze Jr. was once a heartthrob and teen icon, starring in hits like She's All That, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and Scooby-Doo. But by the late 2000s, he quietly exited the Hollywood spotlight. He wanted to be more present as a husband and father. Married to fellow star Sarah Michelle Gellar, Freddie shifted his focus to voice acting and behind-the-scenes work, including WWE creative writing and podcasting. He later revealed in interviews that the culture of Hollywood had become toxic for him, and he preferred the calm of family life and creative freedom outside the limelight. While he occasionally shows up in projects, the man who once ruled teen cinema has made a peaceful retreat from celebrity status. Meg Ryan was America's sweetheart in the 90s, lighting up screens in romantic comedies like When Harry Met Sally, Sleepless in Seattle, and You've Got Mail. Her charming presence made her one of the most bankable stars of her time. But by the mid-2000s, Meg had all but disappeared from mainstream films. After a series of box office flops and heavy media scrutiny over her personal life and changing appearance, she decided to step away. She later expressed that she was tired of Hollywood's harsh standards and wanted to live a more authentic life. These days, Meg is focused on directing and writing, and lives largely out of the public spotlight. Occasionally seen at film festivals or special events, she remains far from the Hollywood machine she once dominated. Next up is Brendan Fraser, the star of the Mummy trilogy, George of the Jungle, and other 90s blockbusters. Brendan was once at the top of the A-list, known for his action comedy charisma and physicality. But a mix of industry politics, personal loss, serious injuries from stunt work, and an alleged sexual assault incident he publicly spoke about led him to retreat from the spotlight. For years, he lived quietly, far from major roles. It wasn't until his emotional comeback in The Whale that fans truly saw his return. Although he's recently made headlines for that resurgence, his long absence left fans shocked at how Hollywood could forget one of its brightest stars. Brendan's story is a reminder of how fame doesn't protect anyone from real-life challenges. Lauryn Hill, a name synonymous with musical brilliance, particularly with her album The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, which remains a timeless masterpiece. At the peak of her solo career in the late 90s, Hill walked away from the music industry almost completely. Citing pressures from the business, her personal beliefs, and a desire to protect her creativity, she went underground, quite literally. She performed sporadically and released only a handful of new tracks over the years. Legal troubles and erratic concert appearances further added to her mystique. Though her disappearance frustrated fans, many admired her refusal to conform to the expectations of the music world. Lauryn Hill didn't fade, she chose silence. Another shock to fans came with Gene Hackman, one of the most respected actors of his generation. With a career spanning over 4 decades, Hackman earned Oscars and starred in classics like The French Connection, Unforgiven, and Enemy of the State. But in 2004, he quietly retired from acting. No farewell tour, no emotional goodbye speech, just gone. When asked why, he said he felt content and wanted to focus on writing novels. Gene now lives a quiet life, far removed from cameras, and rarely gives interviews. At 90+, he's still writing and enjoying retirement, a legendary actor who decided to leave on his own terms. Then there's Phoebe Cates, the actress best known for her roles in Fast Times at Ridgemont High and Gremlins. In the 80s, she was one of the most recognizable young actresses in Hollywood. But in the early 90s, Phoebe left acting almost entirely to focus on raising her children with husband Kevin Kline. She opened a boutique in New York City and has lived a relatively low-profile life ever since. Occasionally she's seen at events supporting her husband, but Phoebe's quiet departure from acting was a conscious decision to prioritize family and a simpler life. And finally, we come to Dave Chappelle. Yes, he's had a major resurgence in recent years, but for a long time, Chappelle was completely off the radar. In 2005, he walked away from his hit show Chappelle's Show and a reported $50 million deal with Comedy Central, stunning the entertainment world. He disappeared to South Africa for a time, prompting widespread speculation. Later, he revealed that the pressures of fame and the creative environment had become unbearable. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. Also, subscribe to our channel before you go. Thank you for watching.